Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I wanted to talk about exclusive equipment and upgrading and all that side of things. Now, I'm going to go through a great guide over here on Pridewind, talk about what I'm doing. This was like the most prominent comment I saw in my previous video with Danger Grey, where we were going through all the beginner stuff. It's one thing that we didn't touch on was exclusive equipment investment and who to invest into. People have seen that I haven't invested into my Sasias or my Smokies exclusive equipment up to +5 yet, and I've been getting asked, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I saving for and stuff like that? So I want to do my best to explain what's going on with exclusive equipment, because these resources are quite scarce. So I'm being more conservative with my approach and more analytical with it and trying to save as much as I can and go only in the specific ones I really want to. But let's go through some options that you have. So if we jump over here to Pridewind, we have their guide on exclusive equipment. I should have my face on the other side of the screen, but you know, I'm an idiot, so I don't. But basically, when we take a look at it, going from 1 to 5 gets you the first additional level on your exclusive equipment. Then 6 to 10 is where you get the next one, and most characters, level 10 is where you get like the added effect. For example, if we go back over here and we take a look at our Smokey and we go to his exclusive equipment, if we upgrade this to +10, you can see that normally basically what happens is +5 is a number increase on what already happens. Number 15 is a number increase on what already happens. And then we have the number 10, level 10 +10 is the extra effect, let's call it. So 10 is the key one that you're really going to look to. Now, some characters getting the extra numbers on the 15 is going to be huge. Also, don't forget that we do get some really nice base stats, basic stats that go along with it, and these can often be like more important sometimes than the effect themselves. On a good unit, good stats are always good, is essentially the way it works. But let's bounce back over here and take a look. So once again, that goes through your costs that you need. We have the blue ones, which are the title essence, and then we have the temporal essence, which are going to take you all the way to 15, and then we're going to go way beyond that with the twilight essence. And the twilight essence is sort of more of a luxury. The main thing you're looking to get to is either unlock it or level 10. Those are the key breakpoints for abilities normally, and then some characters will really want that 15, but once again, that 15 and beyond investment is normally just for good characters that make them better. So let's go ahead and go down. Also, massive shout out goes to Season from Analytica. They got the link to the website there as well, so you can go to AFK Analytica. I've shown them many times before on the channel. Ooh, they've revamped it as well with the homepage. But yeah, you can go there. Season's got a ton of knowledge around this through the PTR and stuff, so massive shout out to Analytica as well. And then basically they go through all those disclaimers about the essence being rare. So this here they have +0 base investments for the character. 5/8 is the next stop that you should do when investing into a character. The reason they do that is because when they say EX from 5 to 8, you only need 30, but to get the last 2, you need an additional 45. So it becomes a lot more expensive to go past 8. And the reason you would go to 8 and stop at 8 on your exclusive equipment is for these stats. You're getting the stat increase, but then once again, that extra investment is going to be a little bit more steep to go to 10, and 10 is where you're going to get those core abilities for some characters. So let's bounce back over here. So now they come here and they give us a really good list, and basically this is along the lines of what I was planning for. So you can see here, Iron, Odie, Rainier, Thorin, and Scarletta are all very high. Now, of the units that most free-to-play / low spending players will get, Thorin, Odie, and Iron are a very high priority. So I want to bounce over and take a look at them and take a look at why that is. So if we jump over back into the game, let's take a look at these characters first. Now, the first one I am personally going to do is going to be Odie. Odie is super clutch for me. You can see here I am 5 copies away from getting him to Mythic Plus and unlocking it. And as soon as I get him there, I am going to take him straight to the level 10 because I want that initial energy. The initial energy is going to be huge for allowing Odie to do basically just function better. I'm at 2 team battles now. I need a second carry that's fully functional, and Odie can really slap super hard. So Odie is my top priority for this one. So essentially what he does is he gets himself an execute on the enemies. If you've seen some of my videos on other people's accounts with the whale accounts where he uses this, you can get the execute up to like 50% of their health. Now, when we look at Odie, taking him to level 4, which is the +15, is going to be a lot more intensive to try and get there, but it does increase your poison damage bonus. But on top of that, when we look at Odie, I can't actually check it through here. But also getting the extra stats on him is going to be very important because once again, that's going to help you increase the threshold and everything like that. So Odie is a fantastic one. Getting him to plus 10 or level 10 is going to get that initial energy, which is really huge to get the guy snowballing. Because once he snowballs, he goes super hard. So Odie is a fantastic option, and like I said, he is actually my #1 option. Now, the other character, and if we go ahead and we look into my bag here, where are they? You can see I'm at 234. So I've only got enough to get one character from +1 to +5. Now, and then as we move on that to +10 is 75. So I'm just below that as well. So by the time I get there, I should be in a pretty decent position to do 2 characters essentially. Now, the other 2 I'm looking at are going to be Thorin and Iron. Now, why is Iron on there? If we go ahead and we take a look at Iron's here, you can see the first cast of the ultimate doesn't cost energy. Now, his level 5 is kind of like just, it doesn't really matter. He's 5. The damage isn't what it's here for, but the 10 increase immobilization duration to 6 seconds. Now, when I've played on other people's accounts using the Iron with his exclusive equipment, this is clutch because at base, the immobilization is only for, where is it? Alt for 3 seconds. Increasing that immobilization to 6 seconds allows you to initial group up with Iron and then lets your other teammates actually do what they need to do to deal that AoE damage before the enemies can break out of formation and start running around and moving. So the immobilization effect on this one is really nice, and that's why it is here. The other thing is Iron is a great meta character, whether it be in arena or in campaign AFK stage pushing. So because he is so meta, and yes, he falls off in bossing, he's not used in bossing at all, but because he's basically is the meta in arena at the moment and one of the core metas in campaign and AFK stage pushing, that's why he has such a high priority on this one, and that's why he's another unit that is up there for me as well. Okay, so next up we're looking at Thorin, and Thorin is a unique case. Normally, like I said, it's +10, which is the key breakpoints for these characters. However, Thorin is a bit different. His key breakpoint for me is level 5, and he's one of those characters that you can stop at 5, or if you want those extra stats, you can go to 8 on. So if we take a look at Thorin, you can see basically he links himself to the ally and then takes damage for them, and essentially it gives him an extra cheat, an extra life on his thing. Now at level 2, which is +5, the 25% of the damage dealt by the ally he's linked to heals Thorin. That is really nice. That is a huge effect for it. Like, that really helps him with his survival, considering he's taking that extra damage. Normally you link him to a damage dealer. It's a really nice effect. And then you can see his level 3 and level 4, which is +10 and +15, would give him just sort of the it just gives him the number increase. So increases healing amount that Thorin receives from the ally's damage to 30% and then up to 35%. So the core functionality is this one. And yes, 25 to 35% is nice, but it's not like game breaking. And definitely 25 to 30% isn't game breaking. So Thorin is one of those ones. Over on Pridewin, I believe they put it at, a +5 to +8. To me, 5 is going to be perfectly safe. As a free-to-play player, I'm trying to save these resources because unlocking core abilities for characters is the most important thing for me, and taking him to +8 doesn't really go along with that for me. So I really do want to leave my Thorin at +5, but once again, I don't have the resources to get 2 characters to +5. So for my account, what my exact plan is at the moment, save for Odie. Odie's my top priority, get him to +10. If at some point I reach enough title essence, and if we go over back here to my inventory, which would be 300. So if I get this title essence up to 300 and I pull a Thorin, that gets him to Mythic Plus, I will do Thorin to his +5 as well, because then I know as soon as I get Odie done, and Odie is just, I think that I got 7 days to wait until the shop refreshes, then I can do him. So then I would do that. But Odie is my personal top priority. Then my next priority is going to be Thorin or Iron, whoever gets there first. Honestly, both are fantastic, and I don't have a preference. My Iron team isn't quite complete on this account, so I'm not stressed if I can't get him done straight away. Thorin's fantastic. However, if I do get the Iron, a bonus is a bonus to him. I need to use 2 teams. I can just use Iron and then play a little bit of a control game, and then maybe even just use him with the Odie team, or maybe use Iron with Cecilia, use Odie on the other team, and then Odie can do his snowball, and Cecilia can be my pseudo controller early unit to pair with my Iron until I get my Carolina built up. Those are my options. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And that is pretty much my basic plan for now. Anything past that is a bit too early for me personally, because as a free-to-play, it's going to take me a while to get to that next point. And by that time, I reckon maybe we'll have another 4 characters in the game by the time I get just those signature items, exclusive equipments, to where I want them. So I'm holding out after that. I will do Odie, then I'll do Thorin to 5, Odie to 10, Thorin to 5, Euron to 10, and then I'm just saving. I'm saving to see where things line up, because I feel like by then maybe we've got a new character that's maybe shifting a meta or something that then I will want to invest into. But for those that, you know, maybe have some more resources than I do and you're looking at other options as we go down here, Rainier obviously fantastic. Spenders, this is looking at you because yeah, just trying to get him to Mythic Plus is going to take a fair bit of time. But then we've just got our standard good units. Corrin, Arden. Arden just great in PvP campaign in those Euron comps. Corrin all-round bossing mastermind, fantastic. Carolina, if you're running that team. Cassidy, I wouldn't be going into Cassidy or Sylvina at the moment. It's sort of like you've also got to look at how useful the unit is across all game modes before you go and invest into this. That's the other thing to consider. Smokey, I just don't think Smokey's is worth it. So if we jump over here to Smokey for me personally, and we take a look at his exclusive equipment, essentially we're getting more damage and then we're getting the hits done. The problem with Smokey is his exclusive equipment is amazing when it happens, and if you get it to happen, you're probably going to win anyway. So getting any of the added effects to it isn't really that big of an issue. The main thing with Smokey is going to be getting those extra stats that we get through the basic stat upgrades to help him just function in general. But because his exclusive equipment only takes function once you use your 3rd ultimate, it's very niche in how often you use it. Don't get me wrong, it's great in bosses because you get the extra ticking damage and he does like a ton of damage in no time. But in general, I think him just at base unlocked is going to be perfectly fine. And the same goes with Cecilia. Cecilia is one of those characters that I see being sort of left behind eventually. I think she's going to be great, but I just don't see the effect of the upgrades for her. Absorbing 1 vitality, extra shielding, healing, like okay, but none of this is like completely vital, and I think she just works so well at just Mythic Plus with her exclusive equipment unlocked that I don't need to worry about it. So that is it. Once again, I'll leave a link to this in the description if you guys want to go and figure out who you might want to do. They look at PvP, PvE side investment as well. Just keep in mind, always like keep in mind like what units are viable in multiple areas or where they're strong at, because even though a character might have a really good exclusive equipment, if that character themselves isn't used too much, then you might want to do investment into a character that's used everywhere, is the kind of way I look at it. So that is going to be it. That is there if you want to go ahead and look at it. Recapping my priority, I'm going to do Odie plus 10, Thorin plus 5, Euron plus 10, and then save and see what comes. And I'll update you guys in the future when I have some more thoughts around this. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.